I stood there in my $15,000 wedding dress, 3 months pregnant, about to marry a billionaire. In exactly 4 minutes, I would destroy three people I loved most in front of 400 guests. But they had no idea what was coming. See, while my future mother-in-law thought she was playing chess with my life, I was recording every single move. While my cousin-in-law was cashing checks to betray me, I was building a case that would send people to prison. And while everyone thought I was just some poor girl who got lucky, I was planning the most spectacular takedown Newport society had ever seen. My name is Sarah, and this is the story of how I went from being gaslit, sabotaged, and nearly losing my baby from stress, to exposing a multi-million-dollar conspiracy at my own wedding reception. Hotel rooms with hidden cameras, fake affair photos, $200,000 in blood money, and a revenge so perfectly executed that it ended with handcuffs, standing ovations, and my mother-in-law screaming in a prison jumpsuit. They tried to bury me. They didn't know I was a seed. If you love stories about karma hitting hard, hit that like button right now. Drop a comment telling me what you would have done in my situation. Forgive the cousin or cut hers off forever. And subscribe because trust me, if you think this story is wild, wait until you hear what happens 3 years later at the parole hearing. You won't want to miss a single chapter of this saga. Now let me take you back to where it all began. I was 3 months pregnant, marrying a billionaire, and wearing my grandmother's pearl earrings for luck. In 4 weeks, I would be standing in a $15,000 wedding dress in front of 400 people, exposing the three people I loved most in the world as liars, thieves, and traitors. But on that Tuesday in March, I had no idea. I was just a girl who thought she had won the lottery. My name is Sarah Mitchell, soon to be Sarah Sterling, and I grew up in a working-class neighborhood in Rhode Island where dreams like mine did not come true. My father died when I was 12. Heart attack, no life insurance, no warning. One day he was teaching me to ride a bike without training wheels, and the next day my mother was crying in the bathroom at 2 in the morning, trying to figure out how to pay for his funeral. My mother Jenny cleaned houses to keep us afloat. Rich people's houses in Newport, with their ocean views and marble floors and wine cellars bigger than our entire apartment. She scrubbed their toilets and folded their designer clothes and never complained. Not once. She just came home exhausted every night and made sure I did my homework. I got a scholarship to the Rhode Island School of Design. Full ride, art history. My mother cried when I got the acceptance letter. Not sad tears, happy ones. The kind that say maybe all the sacrifice was worth it. Now I manage a small contemporary art gallery in Providence, $48,000 a year. I lived in a 600 square foot apartment, drove a 2015 Honda Civic with 130,000 miles on it, and had $34,000 in student loan debt. By most measures, I was doing okay. Not great, but okay. Then I met Alexander Sterling. It happened 18 months ago at a gallery opening. Contemporary feminist art, aggressive pricing, free wine. I was giving a tour to a small group when I noticed him standing in front of a piece by Jenny Saville. He was not looking at it the way most people look at art. He was studying it, really seeing it. I walked over. That's one of my favorites. He turned, dark hair, blue eyes, expensive suit that fit him like it was made for his body specifically, which I later learned it was. Tell me about it, he said. So I did. I told him about Saville's use of flesh as landscape, about the way she reclaims the female body from the male gaze, about color theory and brushstroke, and the politics of representation. I talked for 20 minutes. He listened to every word. When I finished, he smiled. Have dinner with me. I laughed. I don't even know your name. Alex, and yours? Sarah. Sarah, have dinner with me, please. I said yes. That night, I Googled him. Alexander Sterling, 30 years old, CEO of Sterling Technologies, estimated net worth $400 million in climbing. I almost canceled the date. What did a guy like that want with a girl like me? But he texted, please do not cancel. I am just a guy who likes the way you talk about paintings. So I went. 6 months of dating before he introduced me to his family. 6 perfect months where I could pretend we were just two normal people falling in love. Then reality hit. The Sterling family lived at Windermere, a historic Newport estate. Old money, Gilded Age Mansion, the kind of place tourists paid $30 to tour. His parents, Charlotte and Richard Sterling, treated me exactly the way you would expect old money to treat a girl from Cranston whose mother cleaned houses. Our first dinner together, Charlotte looked me up and down like I was something stuck to her shoe. How lovely. Alexander, darling, you did not mention she was so wholesome. I tried to connect. Mrs. Sterling, your home is beautiful. I have studied Gilded Age architecture. Have you? How industrious. Most young women today do not bother with education. She paused. Beyond the necessary degree, of course. Richard, Alex's father, tried to be kinder. What did you study, Sarah? Art history with a focus on, Charlotte interrupted. Art history? Of course. And what does one do with that? I manage the Hoffman Gallery in Providence. A gallery manager, how quaint. Like a shopkeeper, but with paintings. Alex's jaw tightened. Mother, Sarah is brilliant. She is publishing a paper on contemporary feminist art. Charlotte sipped her wine. How modern. Richard, more wine? That was 15 months ago. 15 months of family dinners where conversation stopped when I entered rooms. 15 months of Charlotte introducing me as Alexander's friend, even after we got engaged. 15 months of feeling like an imposter in designer clothes I could not afford. But Alex made it bearable. He proposed at the gallery where we met, on one knee in front of the same Jenny Savile painting. Sarah Mitchell, you make me believe in things I thought rich people like me could not have. Real connection. Real love. Will you marry me? I said yes. Of course I said yes. The pregnancy was unplanned but wanted. We found out 8 weeks ago. I took 3 tests in the bathroom of my apartment, hands shaking, watching the lines appear. Then I drove to Alex's office and told him. He cried, actually cried. We are having a baby. We are going to be a family. We told Charlotte and Richard last month. Charlotte's face went completely white. For 10 seconds, she said nothing. Then, how unexpected. Not congratulations. Not how wonderful. Just how unexpected. That should have been my first clue that something was very, very wrong. My cousin Maddie arrived 4 weeks before the wedding. Madison Carter, 26 years old, my best friend since childhood. We were more than cousins, we were sisters. Our fathers were brothers. When my dad died, I was 12 and shattered. Maddie was 10. Her family took us in for 6 months while my mom got back on her feet. We shared a bedroom, shared clothes, shared secrets. What I did not know until much later was that those 6 months destroyed Maddie's family. The stress of 2 extra people, the financial strain, my mother's grief filling every corner of their house. Maddie's parents divorced a year later. Her father moved to Florida. She only saw him twice after that. I thought we had survived that trauma together. I did not know Maddie blamed me, blamed us. I picked Maddie up at the Providence airport on a cold Tuesday morning. She looked different, thinner, wearing designer clothes with tags still attached to some items. Maddie, I hugged her tight. I missed you so much. Are you kidding? I would not miss this for anything. You are marrying a billionaire, Sarah. This is insane. How is Los Angeles? How is the acting? She hesitated, just a fraction of a second. Great, really great. I actually booked a commercial. That is why I could afford to take 2 months off. 2 months? Maddie, you did not have to. Yes, I did. You are family. And I want to be here for every minute of this. Something felt off. The designer clothes, the way she would not quite meet my eyes. But I pushed it away. Wedding stress, pregnancy hormones. I was seeing problems where there were none. That night, Charlotte invited Maddie to dinner at the estate. I was staying in the guest cottage on the property because it was easier for wedding planning. When I walked into the main house, I heard voices in the sunroom. I stopped in the doorway. Charlotte and Maddie sat together laughing over coffee. Intimate, like old friends. Oh, I said. I did not know you two were meeting. They both turned. Charlotte's smile did not reach her eyes. Madison and I were just getting acquainted. She is utterly charming, Sarah. I can see why you are so close. Maddie stood. Your future mother-in-law was just telling me about Sterling family wedding traditions. It is fascinating. That is nice, I said slowly. Maddie, want to help me with the seating chart? Actually, Charlotte offered to show me the estate. Is that okay? We can do seating later. Charlotte linked arms with Maddie. Run along, dear. Madison and I will catch up. They walked away together, heads bent close, whispering. I stood alone in that massive sunroom, surrounded by antique furniture worth more than my entire life savings, and felt the first cold finger of dread trace down my spine. When had Charlotte ever liked anyone from my world? That evening, Alex came to the cottage. He looked uncomfortable, which was unusual. Alex was always confident, always certain. We need to talk about something, he said. The prenup. My heart sank. Okay. My parents are insisting. Their lawyers drew it up. It is just a formality. I do not care about protecting assets, but they will not pay for the wedding without it. They are paying for the wedding? I offered. They insisted. Family tradition and all that. I am sorry. I know it is awkward. He handed me a document, 47 pages of dense legal language. I flipped through it, my eyes glazing over. Alex, I can barely understand this. My lawyer reviewed it. It is standard. Basically, if we divorce within a year, we each keep what we brought into the marriage. And what did I bring? He pulled me close. Your brilliant mind, your huge heart, our baby. He kissed my forehead. Sign it. Do not sign it. I do not care. I am marrying you either way. But it would make the next 4 weeks easier if my parents are not breathing down my neck about it. I signed, page 44 in small print. Wife acknowledges all gifts, financial support, and property transfers during engagement period. I did not read it carefully. I trusted Alex. You know that feeling when you walk into a room and the conversation just stops? And you know they were talking about you? That was every single family dinner for a year. I would count the minutes until it could leave. 47 minutes, 52 minutes. Once I made it to 73 before I faked a work emergency and fled. Alex would apologize in the car every time. They will come around, and he would say. I would nod. But I knew they never would. And I was right. Later that night, I could not sleep. Pregnancy insomnia, the doctor said. Perfectly normal. I got up to get water and noticed lights on in the main house. It was almost 11 at night. I walked to the window. 2 figures stood on the terrace, Charlotte and Richard. Their voices carried in the cold March air. Charlotte's voice sharp. The wedding is in 4 weeks. After that, we will have everything we need. Richard, and if she does not sign? Charlotte, she will sign. I have made sure of it. The contracts are ironclad. Once she is in, she is trapped. Richard, and the girl? Charlotte, Madison is playing her part perfectly. Sarah suspects nothing. By the time she figures it out, it will be too late. Richard, what about Alexander? Charlotte laughed, cold, cruel. My son chose his side when he chose her over his family. He will learn. They both will. I stood frozen by the window, hand on my barely there baby bump, listening to my future-in-law's plan, something I could not begin to understand. That was the moment everything changed. That was the moment I stopped being a naive girl planning her fairy tale wedding and became a woman fighting for her survival. I just did not know what I was fighting yet. The next morning, I picked Maddie up early. We had a full day of wedding planning ahead. Flowers, cake tasting, final dress fitting. She looked exhausted when she came downstairs. Dark circles under her eyes, hair pulled back in a messy bun. Late night, I asked as we drove toward Providence. Just could not sleep. Jet lag, I think. Maddie, those clothes you were wearing yesterday, the designer stuff. You said you booked a commercial? She stiffened slightly. Yeah, it paid really well. I wanted to look nice for your wedding. How much do acting commercials pay? Enough. Her tone warned me to drop it. We spent the morning with the florist. White roses, hydrangeas, peonies. Charlotte had already approved everything, of course. My opinion barely mattered. At the cake tasting, Maddie's phone buzzed constantly. She kept checking it, typing quick response, her face unreadable. Everything okay? I asked. Just work stuff, my agent. I thought you took 2 months off. I did, but there is some follow-up. You know how it is. I did not know how it was. I had never been an actress. Never had an agent. Never worn designer clothes with the tag still on. That afternoon, we went to the bridal boutique for my final fitting. My mother met us there, tears already forming before I even put the dress on. The dress was perfect. Ivory silk, fitted bodice, flowing skirt, off-shoulder sleeves. It showed my tiny baby bump, barely noticeable, but there. "Baby, you look like a princess," my mother said, crying. Maddie smiled, but it did not reach her eyes. "Sarah, you are stunning. Alex is going to lose his mind." Then Charlotte arrived, because of course she did. She could not let me have one moment without her presence. She looked me up and down. "It is very understated. Are you sure you do not want something more substantial? You are marrying into the Sterling family after all." "I love this dress." Well, you will need proper jewelry. Those little pearls will not do. I will have my jeweler send options." I touched my grandmother's pearls. These were my grandmother's. Yes, I am sure they were lovely in their time. My mother's jaw tightened. I saw her hands clench, but she said nothing, because that was what people like us did. We stayed quiet. We did not make scenes. That night, I could not stop thinking about what I had overheard. The wedding is in 4 weeks. After that, we will have everything we need. Madison is playing her part perfectly. Playing what part? I waited until Alex was asleep. Then I did something I am not proud of. I checked his phone. His calendar showed late-night meetings, multiple times per week. IPO prep, they were labeled. Investor calls, board meetings. But there was one recurring entry that caught my eye. JP, Peninsula. Every Tuesday and Thursday, 11 at night, the Peninsula Hotel was in downtown Providence, 45 minutes from Newport. Why would Alex need a hotel room? I closed his phone carefully, my hands shaking. I was pregnant, hormonal, paranoid, that was all. Alex was not cheating. He loved me. He was working hard on his company's public offering. That was all. But I could not shake the feeling that something was very, very wrong. The next day, Maddie and I had lunch in Newport. She seemed distracted, checking her phone constantly. "Maddie, talk to me. What is going on?" She looked up, startled. "What do you mean?" "You have been weird since you got here. The clothes, the phone, the way you and Charlotte were laughing together yesterday." "Oh, Sarah, Charlotte is actually really nice once you get to know her. She has been giving me advice." "Advice about what?" "Life, careers, how to navigate in wealthy circles." Maddie paused. "She says I have potential." Something cold settled in my stomach. "Potential for what?" "I do not know. Just potential." She reached across the table, squeezed my hand. "Sarah, you are overthinking everything. Pregnancy hormones. Charlotte is just being friendly. I am just trying to help you with this wedding. Everything is fine." But everything was not fine. That night, I got a text from an unknown number. "You should ask your fiancé about the Peninsula Hotel, room 618. Ask him who he is meeting there every Tuesday and Thursday night. Or do not ask. Just go there Thursday at 11 p.m. and see for yourself." I stared at the text for a long time. Then I took a screenshot. I did not tell Alex. I did not tell anyone. Thursday night came. I told Alex I was going to bed early. He kissed my forehead, said he had a late conference call, and disappeared into his home office. At 10:30, I drove to the Peninsula Hotel, parked across the street, felt absolutely ridiculous. This was insane. I was spying on my fiancé because of an anonymous text. This was not who I was, but I stayed. At 11:03, Alex's black Tesla pulled up. The valet took it. Alex got out, went into the hotel alone. My heart was hammering. I felt sick. 10 minutes passed. 15. Then a woman got out of an Uber. Blonde hair, red dress. I could not see her face. The woman walked into the hotel. I waited and waited. At 1:17 in the morning, Alex came out. Alone, wow. He looked at his phone, frowned, got in his car, and drove away. 40 minutes later, the blonde woman emerged. She was smiling, typing on her phone. I sat in my car until 3 in the morning, trying to understand what I had just seen. When I finally drove back to the cottage, Alex was in bed, asleep. I climbed in beside him. He stirred, pulled me close. "Where were you?" "Could not sleep. Walked around outside." "Come here." He wrapped his arms around me. You need to rest. The baby needs you to rest. I lay there in the dark, listening to him breathe, wondering if the man I loved was a stranger. The next morning, I confronted him. Sort of. Where were you last night? He looked up from his laptop. Conference call, ran late, why? Just wondering, you got home after 1. Yeah, then I had to drive to Providence for a meeting. At midnight, investors in Hong Kong, time zones, it is killing me. He stood, kissed the top of my head. Why are you asking? Were you at the Peninsula Hotel? He froze. Why are you asking me that? Just answer. Yes, the meeting was there, Sarah. What is going on? Who was the meeting with? Investors. I told you. Their names? His eyes narrowed. Why are you interrogating me? What happened? I pulled out my phone, showed him the anonymous text. He read it. His face went hard. And you believe this? You followed me? I did not follow you. I was crying now. Something feels wrong, Alex. Your mom and Maddie whispering. The prenup. You being gone all the time. And then that text. He pulled me close. Sarah, listen to me. I am not cheating on you. I would never. You are the only woman I want, you and our baby. Then who were you meeting? He hesitated, then pulled out his phone, showed me his calendar. Meeting with Jay Thornton, Peninsula Bar, 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. regarding IPO documentation. Showed me text messages with Jessica Thornton, his corporate lawyer. Professional messages about documents, signatures, filing deadlines. Jessica has clients in Asia. She takes calls late. We met in the bar to go over documents. I can call her right now if you want. No, I believe you. Do you? Because it does not feel like you do. I am sorry. I am so sorry. The pregnancy hormones are making me crazy. You are not crazy. You are stressed. My family is a lot. This wedding is a lot. But we are almost there, okay? Then we get married, we have our baby, and we live happily ever after. We held each other. I felt relieved, embarrassed, stupid for doubting him. I fell asleep in his arms that night, feeling safe. I did not see the text that came to Alex's phone at 3:42 in the morning. From a contact labeled M with a heart emoji, she followed you? We need to be more careful. Wednesday, same time, I will use the back entrance. I tried to let it go. Tried to focus on the wedding, on my baby, on being happy, but I could not shake the feeling that I was missing something important. 3 weeks before the wedding, I made a decision. I called my best friend from college. Olivia Brooks worked in cybersecurity in Boston. She was brilliant, fierce, and had always been protective of me. Liv, I need your help with something, and you cannot judge me. When have I ever judged you? Okay, besides that time you dated the guy with the ferret, what is up? I told her everything, the overheard conversation, the hotel, the anonymous text, Alex's explanation. Sarah, I love you, but rich people are different. They lie like they breathe. You need proof. Proof of what? That my fiancé is faithful? Or proof that he is not? Either way, you need to know before you legally tie yourself to him and his nightmare family. She gave me the number of a private investigator. Marcus Webb, former police officer, discreet, expensive. I hired him, $2,000, half my savings. Follow Alexander Sterling. Note everywhere he goes, everyone he meets, photo evidence. Marcus asked, Ma'am, are you prepared for what I might find? No, but I need to know anyway. Meanwhile, Maddie was essentially living at the estate. Charlotte had given her a guest room in the main house. Every morning they had breakfast together. Every afternoon they went over wedding details. You rest, Maddie said. Growing a human is hard work. I have got this. She took over vendor coordination, seating charts, timeline. I was grateful. The morning sickness was brutal. I could barely stay awake past 8 p.m., but then I started noticing strange things. Vendor contracts had changed. The florist contract now had a cancellation clause. Cancellation within 14 days of event incurs 100% penalty of total contract, $35,000. Maddie, did you see this? Oh yeah, the florist added it, standard for weddings this size. But I did not agree to this. Charlotte signed off on it. It is fine. I reviewed other contracts. Caterer, photographer, musicians. Every single one had been modified with massive cancellation penalties. Total penalties if the wedding was canceled, $340,000. I owned nothing worth $340,000. One morning, Charlotte cornered me in the kitchen. "Sarah, dear, you are looking quite peaked. Are you sure you are well enough for all this?" "I am fine. Just morning sickness." Pregnancy can be so unpredictable, especially first pregnancies. The risk of complications. She paused meaningfully. Miscarriage, premature labor. It would be terrible if something happened, especially right before the wedding. I stared at her. "What are you saying, Charlotte?" "Only that you should take care of yourself. Rest. Perhaps let the adults handle the wedding planning." "You seem overwhelmed." That night, I reviewed the prenup again. Page 44. Wife acknowledges all gifts, financial support, and property transfers during engagement period. What gifts? What property transfers? A week later, Marcus sent his first report. Subject, Alex, has been to the Peninsula Hotel 4 times in the past week, always between 10 p.m. and 1 a.m. Always enters alone. Hotel security is tight, cannot get interior photos. Room number 618, registered to Sterling Technologies corporate account. Second key card for room 618 has been activated. Second card used on different dates than subject's card. Someone else had access to that room. Someone who went there when Alex was not there. My hands shook as I read the report. Then 3 days later, another FedEx envelope appeared on my doorstep. No return address. Inside, photos. Alex entering the peninsula. A blonde woman entering 20 minutes later. Timestamps matched what Marcus had documented. But these photos were from inside the hotel lobby. Better angles. One photo showed the woman's hand on the check-in desk. She was wearing a distinctive ring. Gold band, turquoise stone, vintage style. I knew that ring. I had bought it for Maddie for her 21st birthday, 5 years ago. The woman in the red dress was my cousin. I could not breathe, could not think. I sat on the floor with the photos spread around me. Maddie had been going to a hotel room that Alex had access to, but Marcus said they used the room on different nights. So they were not meeting each other. They were using the same room separately. Why? I needed to know more. I needed answers. That night I followed Maddie. She left the estate at 10:30, dressed in that red dress, hair and makeup done. She drove to Providence, to the Peninsula Hotel. She went inside. 30 minutes later, I watched from my car as someone else arrived. Richard Sterling, Alex's father. He went into the hotel, nervous, looking around. Went inside. 90 minutes later, they both left, separately. Richard first, looking disheveled. Maddie 20 minutes after, checking her phone, smiling. What in God's name was happening? I called Olivia. "I need you to find out everything about Richard Sterling. Financial records, property, debts, everything." "Sarah, that is going to take some serious digging. Probably illegal digging." "I do not care. I need to know." 2 days later, Olivia sent me an email. "Sarah, Richard Sterling is broke. Not like tough year broke, like about to lose everything broke. Details? Estate Windmere has been mortgaged 3 times. Currently $8 million in debt. Personal credit cards, $340,000 balance. Business loans, $2.1 million outstanding. IRS lien for unpaid taxes, $1.7 million. Total debt, approximately $12 million. He has been hiding this from Charlotte, or she is complicit. Either way, they are about to lose everything. Unless Alex's company goes public. IPO valued at $800 million. If Richard can get control of the company before IPO, he can sell it or leverage it to cover debts. But there is a problem. Alex owns 80% voting shares. Richard cannot touch it unless something happens to Alex's reputation that triggers company bylaws. I pulled the Sterling Tech Incorporation documents. Clause 7.4. CEO may be removed for moral turpitude, criminal conduct, or conduct that damages company reputation. If Alex is caught in a scandal, especially involving an affair with his wife's family member, the board can remove him. Control reverts to largest shareholder after Alex. Richard Sterling, 15% voting shares. Sarah, they are trying to frame Alex for an affair to steal his company. I read the email 3 times. Then I threw up. They were not just trying to ruin my wedding. They were trying to destroy Alex's entire life. And they were using my cousin to do it. But why would Maddie agree to this? I went through her social media. Recent Venmo payments showed a transaction, $15,000 from CS Consulting LLC. I Googled the company, registered in Delaware. No website, no information. Olivia dug deeper. CS Consulting LLC, registered owner, Charlotte Sterling. Charlotte was paying Maddie, but for what? I had to confront her. I had to know the truth. I found Maddie at the cottage that evening, going over centerpiece options. Maddie, we need to talk. She looked up. Sure, what is up? Why is Charlotte paying you? Her face went carefully blank. What are you talking about? CS Consulting, $50,000. I have the bank records. She paused, then smiled. Oh, that. Charlotte hired me to help with wedding planning. She is paying me as a consultant. $50,000 to help plan a wedding? It is a complicated wedding, Sarah. 400 guests. I have been working full-time on it. The payment started 8 weeks ago, before you even got here. She paid me a retainer to block out my time. She stood. Sarah, why are you interrogating me? Because nothing makes sense. The hotel, the money, you and Charlotte being so close. What is going on? Tears formed in her eyes. I was trying to help you. I thought if I got Charlotte to like me, she would be nicer to you. I thought I was doing a good thing. But now you are accusing me of what? What do you think I am doing? I wanted to believe her. God, I wanted to believe her so badly. I am sorry. I am sorry. You are right. I am being paranoid. She hugged me. You need to talk to someone, Sarah. A therapist or something. This paranoia is not healthy. For you or the baby. That night, Charlotte found me in the hallway. Madison tells me you have been having some troubling thoughts. That is private. When it involves accusations against family members, it becomes my concern. Madison has been nothing but helpful, and you are treating her like a criminal. I just asked her about money I paid her for legitimate work. Yes, I know. Sarah, I am going to be blunt. You seem unstable, paranoid. I am concerned about your mental state. I am fine. Are you? You are accusing your fiancé of infidelity. You are following him. You are interrogating your cousin. These are not the behaviors of a stable person. My hands were shaking. I'm just stressed. Perhaps you should speak with Dr. Winters. He is a psychiatrist, very discreet. He can prescribe something to help with the anxiety. I do not need a psychiatrist. The wedding is in 2 weeks, dear. You need to get yourself together for Alexander's sake, for the baby's sake. She walked away, leaving me standing alone in that massive hallway, wondering if I was actually going crazy. 2 weeks before the wedding, something catastrophic happened. I received an email from Rosecliff Mansion, our wedding venue. Per your request, we are confirming cancellation of your event. As per contract section 7.2, cancellation within 14 days incurs 100% penalty, $125,000. Please remit payment within 48 hours. I called them immediately, hands shaking so badly I could barely hold the phone. I did not cancel. There has been a mistake. The venue manager's voice was professional but firm. We received a cancellation form yesterday via DocuSign signed by you. I did not sign anything. I am looking at it now. Your signature, your email address. Someone forged it. Please, my wedding is in 12 days. I did not. According to our system, the DocuSign was opened from your IP address and signed with your verified credentials. I am sorry, but the cancellation stands. I hung up and immediately called Alex, hyperventilating. Someone canceled our venue. What? How? They are saying I signed a cancellation form. But I did not. Someone forged my signature. Sarah, calm down. I will fix it. We will get another venue. In 12 days? Alex, this is a disaster. I have to go. I am in a meeting. We will talk tonight. He hung up. I sat there alone in the cottage, struggling to breathe. My vision was swimming. The baby. I had to stay calm for the baby. Maddie rushed in 10 minutes later. Sarah, I heard. Oh my God. Someone sabotaged the venue. Someone forged my signature. Okay, let us think. Who has access to your email? No one, just me. What about your password? Is it saved on any devices here at the estate? I froze. The computer in the guest cottage. I check email on it sometimes. Did you log out? I, I do not remember. Oh God, anyone could have. Do not worry, we will fix this. I will call venues right now. We will find something. She pulled out her phone and started making calls, being helpful, being supportive, being the perfect cousin. But all I could think was she was the only other person who regularly used the cottage computer. That night, something even stranger happened. I opened my purse to get my phone. There was a thick envelope inside that I did not remember putting there. Cash. Stacks of $100 bills. I counted it with shaking hands. $50,000. There was a note, handwritten, for wedding emergencies. Love, C. I brought it to Charlotte immediately. This was in my purse. I did not ask for this. She smiled. Oh, good. You found it. I slipped it in yesterday. Just a little nest egg. For wedding costs that come up. I cannot accept this. Nonsense. You are family now. Consider it a wedding gift. I do not feel comfortable. Sarah, do not be stubborn. The venue cancellation is going to cost you. Use the money, I insist. She walked away before I could refuse. I looked at the prenup again that night. Page 44. Wife acknowledges receipt of all gifts, financial support, and property transfers during engagement period. I had signed it. I had acknowledged receiving gifts. If Charlotte could prove she gave me $50,000 and I could not prove I gave it back, I was being framed. Framed for taking money. Framed for being a gold digger. And then 10 days before the wedding, the worst thing happened. I felt cramping, went to the bathroom. I was bleeding. Not a lot, but enough. I called Alex sobbing. Something is wrong. I'm bleeding. He rushed me to the hospital. The emergency room, tests, an ultrasound. The doctor came in looking serious. The baby is fine. It is just spotting, common in first trimester, especially with stress. But there was blood. Your blood pressure is elevated. Your cortisol levels are through the roof. Mrs. Sterling, whatever stress you are under, you need to eliminate it. Stress like this can cause miscarriage. I lay there in that hospital bed, hand on my belly, and realized they were trying to make me lose my baby. The stress, the sabotage, the gaslighting. They wanted me to break, to lose the pregnancy, to fall apart, and it was working. Alex held my hand. Sarah, talk to me. What is going on? I looked at him, really looked at him. His tired eyes, his worried expression, the way he would not let go of my hand. Did he know? Was he part of this? Or was he being used too? Nothing, I'm fine. Just wedding stress. The doctor ordered 48 hours of bed rest. Complete rest. No stress. Alex took me back to the cottage, helped me into bed, brought me water, tea, everything I needed. I am staying home with you, he said. The company can wait. No, you have meetings. I am fine. Before. Are you? Yes. I was not fine. I was terrified, but I could not tell him. Not yet. Not until I knew what was really happening. That night, while Alex was in the other room on a conference call, I got another text from an unknown number. Ask your cousin about room 412, different room, different man, and this time, the man is your father-in-law. Photo attached, Maddie and Richard Sterling entering the Peninsula Hotel together. Timestamp, last night, while I was in the emergency room. I stared at that photo for a long time. Then I made a decision. I was done being the victim, done being manipulated, done being broken. I was going to fight back. But first, I needed proof. Real proof. Undeniable proof. I needed to get into that hotel room. I called Marcus, the private investigator. I need you to get me into the Peninsula Hotel, room 412. Ma'am, that is breaking and entering. How much? $5,000, and I am not going with you. Fine. Get me a key card tomorrow night. I hung up and looked at myself in the bathroom mirror. Pale, exhausted, my hand on my barely there baby bump. Dad, I whispered to my reflection, if you can hear me, I need your help. I need to be brave like you were because tomorrow night I'm going to break into a hotel room and probably find out my cousin is trying to destroy my life. And I do not know if I am strong enough to handle what I find. But I had to try. For my baby. For myself. The next night at 10 p.m., I met Marcus in the parking garage at the Peninsula. He handed me a key card. Room 412. This card will work for the next 2 hours. After that, it deactivates. Do not touch anything you do not have to. Do not leave evidence you were there. How do I know no one is inside? I have been watching. Carter and Sterling were here yesterday. They usually meet once every 3 or 4 days. You should be safe. Should be. I took the key card with shaking hands. Are you sure you want to do this? Marcus asked. I touched my belly. I'm sure. The hotel room was on the 4th floor. I took the elevator, my heart pounding so hard I thought I might pass out. The key card worked. The door opened. I stepped inside. Standard suite, bedroom, sitting area, bathroom. Nothing unusual. I searched methodically, taking photos of everything with my phone. In the closet, women's clothes, Maddie's size, designer labels, including that red dress from the photos. In the bathroom, Maddie's makeup, her shampoo, her toothbrush. On the desk, a laptop, notebooks, printed documents. I photographed the notebooks, Maddie's handwriting. Timeline: Week 1, establish trust with Sarah, befriend Charlotte. Week 2 through 4, change vendor contracts, set financial traps. Week 6, venue cancellation, use Sarah's email access. Week 8, wedding week, execute final phase. I could not breathe, could not think. Next page, the affair photos, plan B if plan A fails. Photos were printed out, Maddie in various states of undress in this room, but they had been edited, photoshopped. Alex's face inserted into shots. Reflections added to mirrors to make it look like he was there. They were not trying to prove a real affair. They were manufacturing a fake one. I found a contract. Agreement between Charlotte Sterling and Madison Carter. Services, M. Carter agrees to 1. Gain trust of Sarah Mitchell. 2. Facilitate changes to wedding vendor contracts. 3. Create evidence of affair with Alexander Sterling, photographic and testimonial. 4. If necessary, provide testimony that affair occurred. Compensation, $15,000 paid March 1st, $10,000 paid March 15th, $25,000 paid March 30th. Final payment at $150,000 to be paid after successful completion of objectives. Total, $200,000. My cousin had sold me out for $200,000. But then I found something else. An old letter, handwritten, from Maddie's father, my Uncle Thomas, to Charlotte, dated 15 years ago. Charlotte, I need your help. I am drowning in debt after the divorce. Rebecca took everything. I have nothing. I know we have not spoken since you married Richard, but I am desperate. Can you loan me $50,000? I will pay you back. Thomas? Charlotte's response was written on the same letter. Thomas, no, you made your choices. You took in your brother's widow and child when you could not afford it. You let their drama destroy your marriage. You were always weak. Consider this a lesson in knowing your place, Charlotte. Clipped to this was a recent photo of Maddie with a note in Charlotte's handwriting. Perfect candidate, desperate, angry, motivated, will do anything for money, just like her father. I understood then. Charlotte had been planning this for years. She found Maddie, exploited her poverty and resentment, turned her into a weapon. I was going to be sick. Then I noticed a small digital voice recorder on the desk. The red light was on. It was recording. I rewound it and pressed play. Charlotte's voice. The wedding is in 6 days. Do you have the photos ready? Maddie. Yes, all edited. They look real. You cannot tell they are fake. Charlotte. Good. After the ceremony, you will send them to the society blogger. Anonymously. By the time they wake up from the wedding night, it will be everywhere. Maddie. What about Sarah? She's been suspicious. Charlotte. Sarah is emotionally unstable, bleeding, crying, paranoid. When the photos come out, everyone will assume she knew, and that is why she has been breaking down. No one will believe her denials. Maddie hesitated. She almost lost the baby because of the stress we are causing. Charlotte, the baby is unfortunate collateral, but Madison, do not develop a conscience now. You have come too far. $150,000 is life-changing money. Maddie, I know. She is my cousin. Charlotte, she is an obstacle, and obstacles get removed. I took the recorder, took the contract, took the fake photos, shoved everything in my purse. Then I heard voices in the hallway. Maddie's voice. Thought you said Thursday. Richard's voice. Change of plans. Charlotte wants to move faster. They were coming to the room. Now, I looked around frantically. Bathroom? No. Closet? Too obvious. I dove under the bed just as the door opened. Through the gap between the bed frame and floor, I could see 4 feet. Maddie's heels, Richard's dress shoes. This is getting too complicated, Maddie said. Sarah has been asking questions. She is paranoid and pregnant. No one takes her seriously. What if she does not show up to the wedding? What if she runs? She will not. We have trapped her financially. If she runs, she is bankrupt. She has no choice but to go through with it. And after we destroy Alex, after you disappear, take your money, change your name, start over somewhere else, you will never see Sarah again. Good, Maddie said quietly. I do not think I could face her. Do not go soft on me now, Madison. This is business. They sat down on the chairs above me. I could see them through the gap. Richard pulled out a folder. Here is the timeline for wedding day. I was trapped under the bed. My phone was on silent, but what if it vibrated? What if they stayed for hours? I could barely breathe. My leg was cramping. The baby. I could not stress like this. I was hyperventilating silently, tears streaming down my face. 45 minutes later, they finally stood. Thursday, same time. We will do the final review. Okay. They left. I waited 10 minutes, then crawled out. My whole body was shaking. I ran back to my car, drove home like I was being chased. At the cottage, I burst through the door, collapsing on the floor. Alex came running from the bedroom. Sarah, where were you? I have been calling. Are you okay? The baby? I could not speak, could not breathe. Just held up the voice recorder with shaking hands. What is this? Listen. He played the recording. His face went from confused to shocked to furious. When it ended, he was white as paper. My parents and your cousin, they are trying to frame me. Frame us. I pulled out the contracts, the photos, everything. I found it all in a hotel room, room 412. Maddie has been meeting your father there, planning this, all of it. Alex sat down hard. How long have you known? Not long. I have been investigating for 3 weeks. I did not tell you because I did not know if you... I could not finish. If I was part of it? Yes. He looked destroyed. You thought I was cheating on you. And I was so wrapped up in my own shit, I did not notice you were falling apart. Alex, I need to tell you something. I have been lying too. He looked at me. I pulled out my phone and showed him emails from a forensic accountant I had hired. Your parents have been embezzling from Sterling Technologies for 3 years, $4.2 million. I have been working with federal prosecutors building a case. His mouth fell open. What? I hired investigators. I got evidence. I was going to expose them after the wedding. I just needed more proof. We stared at each other. Then, despite everything, we both started laughing. Hysterical, exhausted laughter. We are idiots, Alex said, complete idiots. We have been investigating my family separately without telling each other. For weeks. He pulled me close. Sarah, I am so sorry. I should have told you. I should have protected you. I do not need protection. I need a partner. You have one, I promise. We sat there on the floor holding each other, surrounded by evidence of betrayal, and made a plan. We had 6 days until the wedding. And we were going to make sure Charlotte and Richard Sterling regretted ever trying to destroy us. The next morning, I called my friend Olivia. I need your help, and it is probably illegal. She arrived that night with a duffel bag full of electronics. Show me what we are working with. I spread out everything. The voice recorder, the contract, the fake photos, the financial documents about Richard's debts. Olivia whistled. This is enough to send them to prison, but you want to expose them publicly? At the wedding, in front of 400 people. Alex nodded. We want them destroyed. Completely. Then we need more than audio recordings, Olivia said. We need them to confess, on camera, with witnesses. She pulled out tiny cameras the size of buttons. I can hide these throughout the estate. Every room, every conversation, all recorded. How long will it take? If we start tomorrow, I can have everything wired in 72 hours. Do it. The next 3 days were the strangest of my life. I had to pretend everything was normal, had to smile and plan centerpieces and taste champagne samples while knowing that in 4 days, I was going to blow up my entire wedding. Charlotte was increasingly confident. She thought she had won. Sarah, dear, you look so much better, less stressed. I am glad you are finally accepting your place in this family. Thank you, Charlotte. You have been so helpful. Maddie was quieter. I caught her watching me sometimes with something that might have been guilt. But she did not stop. She kept going to the hotel, kept meeting with Richard, kept planning my destruction. On the third day, Olivia finished installing the cameras. Every room in the estate is wired. Everything feeds live to a production booth I set up in the cottage. You will be able to see and hear everything. That night, Charlotte and Richard had a conversation in his study. We watched on the monitors. Charlotte, Madison is getting emotional. I saw her crying with Sarah today. Richard, is that a problem? Charlotte, it is a weakness. We cannot have her getting cold feet now. Richard, she will not. She needs the money. Charlotte, I want you to sleep with her. Richard looked shocked. What? Make it real. Give her something to hold over us. Then she cannot back out. She is complicit. Charlotte, she is 26. That is inappropriate. She is being paid $200,000, Richard. Do not pretend she has morals. Sleep with her tonight. Make sure she cannot run to Sarah with a guilty conscience. Fine. I watched this conversation with Alex beside me. His face was stone. That is my father, he said quietly, agreeing to sexually coerce someone to protect a fraud scheme. We need to stop this. Maddie might have betrayed me, but she does not deserve that. I called the police. There is about to be a sexual assault at the Peninsula Hotel. Room 412, please hurry. Then I called Marcus. Get to the Peninsula. Room 412, get Maddie out of there. We watched on the hotel camera feed Olivia had managed to tap into. Richard arrived at the hotel, went to the room. 20 minutes later, Maddie arrived. She looked terrified. Marcus got there first, pounded on the door. Richard opened it. Who the hell are you? Sir, you need to leave, now. Marcus saw Maddie crying in the corner. The police are on their way. If you are smart, you will leave before they arrive. Richard ran. The police arrived 5 minutes later. Maddie, shaking, told them everything. She agreed to testify, to wear a wire, to get Charlotte to confess on tape. In exchange, the prosecutor offered her a plea deal, 18 months probation. No prison time. The next morning, Maddie returned to the estate wearing a wire. Charlotte was in the sitting room having coffee. We need to talk, Maddie said. Where were you last night? Richard said there was a problem at the hotel. Your husband tried to rape me. Charlotte's face went cold. Do not be dramatic. You are being paid handsomely. What is a little discomfort? I want out. I am done. Keep your money. I am leaving. You cannot leave. We had a deal. The deal did not include your husband forcing himself on me. Charlotte stood, walked closer. Listen to me, you little tramp. You do not get to develop a conscience now. You have already committed multiple felonies. If you walk away, I will make sure you are prosecuted to the fullest extent. For what? Fraud, extortion, conspiracy. You signed contracts. You took money. You helped destroy vendor relationships, forge signatures, plant evidence. You think I do not have proof of everything you have done? I have copies of everything. If you cross me, you go to prison. So what do you want? I want you to finish the job. The wedding is in 3 days. After the ceremony, you release the fake affair photos, exactly as planned. And what about Sarah? You almost killed her baby with all the stress. Sarah is collateral damage. Weak people always are. Now, are you going to finish this, or do I need to call the police right now and have you arrested? I will finish it. Good girl. In the van outside, we listened to every word. The prosecutor smiled. That is enough for conspiracy, extortion, and fraud. We can arrest them now. No, I said, not yet. Detective Rodriguez looked at me. Mrs. Sterling, I do not want them arrested in private. I want them exposed, publicly, at my wedding. That is unconventional. Can you do it? Can you wait until the wedding? If they try to leave town, we have to move. But if they stay put, we can have officers at the wedding, make the arrest there. Perfect. 2 days before the wedding, I went to see Maddie at her hotel. I do not expect you to forgive me, she said. I sat beside her. I do not forgive you. Not yet. Maybe not ever. Then why are you here? Because you are still my cousin, and because Charlotte Sterling turned you into a weapon against me. But you do not have to stay her weapon. What are you saying? I am saying that on my wedding day, you are going to see who Charlotte Sterling really is. And I want you there. I want you to witness what happens when you try to destroy people who fight back. You want me at the wedding? As a guest, not as maid of honor, but yes, I want you there, because you deserve to see how this ends. I woke up on my wedding day surprisingly calm. My mother was with me in the cottage, crying happy tears. Baby, you look so beautiful. I cannot believe my little girl is getting married. I looked at myself in the mirror. The dress fit perfectly, hair in loose waves, makeup natural and glowing, my grandmother's pearl earrings. I looked like a bride. I looked like a warrior. Olivia arrived with final equipment checks. All cameras are functioning, all microphones are hot. The projection screens are set up at the venue. Everything is ready. How many officers will be there? 4 plainclothes plus Detective Rodriguez. They will be scattered throughout the guests. When you give the signal, they move. Alex came in, looking handsome and terrified in his tuxedo. Last chance to run, he said. I took his hand. Not a chance in hell. The venue was breathtaking. Rosecliff Mansion's garden, white roses everywhere. The Atlantic Ocean as backdrop. 400 guests in their seats. Charlotte sat in the front row, dripping with jewels, looking triumphant. Richard beside her, already drunk, nervous. Maddie in the third row, face unreadable. The string quartet began playing. Everyone stood. I walked down the aisle on my mother's arm. 400 faces turned to watch me. I passed Charlotte. She whispered loud enough for me to hear. Let us see how long this lasts. I kept walking. I reached Alex at the altar. He took my hands. They were shaking. I love you, I whispered. I love you too. Let us do this. The ceremony was beautiful, traditional, classic. Readings about love and commitment. Then the vows. Alex spoke first. Sarah, when I met you, I was living in a world where everything was a transaction. But you wanted to talk about art. You saw me. Not my bank account, not my name. Me. I promised to always see you the same way, to fight for us, no matter what. I love you. Only you, forever. I was crying, my turn. Alex, my dad died when I was 12. For years after that, I felt like I did not belong anywhere. But you made me feel like I belonged, and I promised to never let anyone make me feel small again. I promised to stand beside you, not behind you. I promised to raise our child to be brave, honest, and kind. And I promised to always trust my gut, even when everyone tells me I am wrong. This last line was pointed. Charlotte shifted uncomfortably. We exchanged rings. The officiant smiled. By the power vested in me by the state of Rhode Island, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride. Alex kissed me. Tender, real, filled with everything unsaid. The guests applauded. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. and Mrs. Alexander Sterling. We walked back down the aisle as husband and wife. I caught Charlotte's eye. She was smiling, triumphant. I smiled back, wider, because she had no idea what was about to happen. The reception began in the ballroom. Champagne, hors d'oeuvres, dinner service, everyone relaxed, celebrating. Charlotte held court at her table. Of course we are thrilled. Sarah may not be from our world, but she has a certain charm. After dinner, the toasts began. The best man spoke. My mother spoke, emotional and proud. Then Charlotte stood. Good evening, everyone. What a magical night this has been. I remember when Alexander first brought Sarah home. I thought, how interesting. She is not what I expected. But that is what makes America beautiful, is it not? Anyone can rise above their station with enough determination. Sarah has certainly been determined. Determined to join this family. Determined to secure her future. Determined to... I stood up. Charlotte stopped. Dear, I am not finished. Yes, you are. Sit down, Charlotte. The room went silent. Alex stood beside me, took the microphone from his mother. Thank you, Mother. That was illuminating. But Sarah and I have something we would like to share with our guests. The projection screens flickered on. The first video appeared, security footage from the estate, Charlotte and Maddie having coffee. The audio played loud and clear through the speakers. Charlotte. Madison, I have a proposition for you. Maddie. What kind of proposition? Charlotte. I need your help removing an obstacle. Your cousin. Gasps rippled through the ballroom. The second video, Maddie's handwritten timeline, projected 10 feet tall. Week 1, established trust with Sarah. Week 6, venue cancellation. Week 8, execute final phase. The third video, the contract between Charlotte and Maddie. Agreement. M. Carter agrees to create evidence of affair with Alexander Sterling. Compensation, $200,000. The room erupted in chaos. Charlotte shot to her feet. This is doctored. Lies. Turn it off. Oh, we are just getting started, I said. The fourth video, audio from Maddie's wire. Charlotte's voice. You do not get to develop a conscience now. You have already committed multiple felonies. After the ceremony, you release the fake affair photos. Sarah is collateral damage. Weak people always are. People were pulling out their phones, recording. A society journalist was live streaming. The fifth video, hotel security footage. Richard and Maddie entering room 412. Richard's voice. Charlotte wants us to take things further tonight. Maddie backing away. Please do not make me. The video cut before anything else happened. That is my father-in-law attempting to sexually coerce my cousin into silence, and I said. Richard tried to run. Detective Rodriguez stepped in front of him. Mr. Sterling, I need you to stay right there. I do not have to listen to you, Bafram. Rodriguez pulled out a badge. Actually, sir, I have a warrant for your arrest. Charlotte was losing control. This is absurd. That audio is taken out of context. It is not out of context, Charlotte, and it is not civil. It is criminal. Alex took the microphone. Let me show you one more thing. New projection, financial documents. For the past 3 years, my parents have been embezzling from Sterling Technologies. Shell corporations, fraudulent invoices, offshore accounts, total theft, $4.2 million. I have worked with federal prosecutors for 6 months. I have emails, bank transfers, signed documents, everything. The FBI has it all. Charlotte's face went white. Want to know why? I asked. Charlotte and Richard are broke, millions in debt. They needed Alex's company to cover their debts. But Alex owns it, so they needed to remove him as CEO. How? Create a scandal, frame him for an affair with his wife's cousin. Company bylaws allow removal for moral turpitude. Once Alex is removed, Richard takes control, sells the company, covers their debts. And I was just collateral damage. From the third row, Maddie stood. Everything they just said is true. I did it. Charlotte paid me. I helped set traps. I was going to release fake photos after the wedding, but I did not know about the sexual coercion. She looked at Charlotte. You turned me into a monster. You found every wound, every insecurity, every bit of jealousy I had, and you weaponized it. She turned to me. Sarah, I do not expect forgiveness, but I want everyone here to know Sarah Mitchell Sterling is the strongest person I know, and I will spend the rest of my life regretting what I did to her. Charlotte was screaming now. You smug little bitch. You think you have won. You are nothing, nothing. A cleaner's daughter who got pregnant and trapped my son. You will never be one of us. You are right, Charlotte, I said calmly. I will never be one of you. Thank God. Detective Rodriguez stepped forward with handcuffs. Charlotte Sterling, Richard Sterling, you are under arrest for conspiracy to commit fraud, wire fraud, embezzlement, and attempted extortion. Charlotte fought as they cuffed her. You cannot do this. Not here. Not at a wedding. You chose this venue, Mrs. Sterling. We are just honoring your theatrical vision. Richard was sobbing, collapsing as he was cuffed. 400 guests watched in stunned silence as the Sterlings were let out in handcuffs. Then one person started clapping. Maddie, then my mother, then Olivia, then table by table the entire room erupted in applause. Standing ovation. Alex raised my hand. Ladies and gentlemen, my wife. The applause grew louder. I stood there, tears streaming down my face, 7 months of pain finally released. Alex pulled me close, whispered in my ear. I have something to say, and it is going to shock everyone. Alex took the microphone again. If everyone could please sit down, there is one more thing I need to say. The crowd settled, confused. I want everyone here to know something. My wife Sarah asked me not to share this, but you all deserve the truth. Everything you just witnessed, the evidence, the recordings, the exposure, Sarah did not do this alone, because she could not have, because I helped her. I stared at him. This was not part of the plan. I have known about my parents' plan for 3 weeks, not 6 days like Sarah, 3 full weeks. I hired the investigator who followed my father. I paid for the forensic accountants. I installed the cameras at the hotel. I gave Sarah's friend Olivia the money for the equipment to wire this estate. Every piece of evidence you saw tonight, I helped gather it. He turned to me, but I could not tell Sarah, because if I did, my parents would claim we conspired together. They would say it was a setup, a con, that Sarah and I planned this to steal their money and ruin their reputation. So I had to let my wife, my pregnant wife, think she was investigating alone. I had to watch her suffer. I had to watch her break down. I had to watch her nearly lose our baby from stress, and it killed me, every single day. But I did it because I knew. The only way to destroy them completely was to let them think they had won. To let them believe Sarah was weak, alone, and easy to break. He took my hands. Sarah, I let you hurt. I let you think I might be cheating. I let you think you were going crazy. I let you feel alone when you were 3 months pregnant with our child, and I will regret that for the rest of my life. But I did it because I knew you were strong enough to survive it. Strong enough to fight back. Strong enough to win. He turned back to the guests. So tonight, you did not just witness my wife's revenge. You witnessed ours. 2 people who loved each other enough to go through hell together, separately, because that is what it took to survive. My parents taught me everything I know about business, about ruthlessness, about playing the long game. Congratulations, Charlotte and Richard Sterling. Your son learned well. But unlike you, I used those skills to protect my family, not destroy it. His voice got harder. To everyone in this room who has been whispering about my wife for the past year, about her background, her clothes, her education, her place in society, I want you to understand something. Sarah Mitchell Sterling just took down one of the oldest families in Newport society. With evidence, with strategy, with intelligence. She did not need my money. She did not need my name. She did not need me to save her. She saved herself. She saved me. She saved our baby. She saved my company. And she did it while being gaslit, sabotaged, and told she was paranoid. So next time you think about underestimating someone because they do not have the right last name or the right pedigree, remember tonight. Remember what happened to people who thought they were untouchable. The room erupted again. This is not just about my parents, Alex continued. This is about a system that values bloodlines over character, that protects abusers because they have the right last name, that treats people like Sarah as less than human because they work for a living. That system ends tonight. Sterling Technologies will be establishing a foundation for survivors of family financial abuse. $10 million initial funding. We will also be endowing scholarships for first-generation college students pursuing arts education. In honor of Sarah's father, Michael Mitchell, who taught his daughter that your worth is not determined by your bank account. More applause. I took the microphone. I have one more thing to add. Maddie, come here. She approached, terrified. You betrayed me. You almost destroyed my life. You hurt me more than I thought possible. But Charlotte Sterling turned you into a weapon. She found you when you were vulnerable, desperate, and angry. She exploited wounds that started when we were children. So here is what is going to happen. You are going to testify against Charlotte and Richard. You are going to serve whatever sentence you deserve. And when you are done, if you want to be part of this family again, part of our baby's life, we will talk. Not today. Not tomorrow. Maybe not for years. But that door is not locked forever, because despite everything, you are still my family. And I do not abandon family the way Charlotte Sterling does. Maddie collapsed, sobbing. Alex smiled. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have had quite an evening. Arrests, exposures, confessions. But this is still our wedding day, and I am married to the most incredible woman I have ever met. So let us eat cake, drink champagne, and celebrate, because we are not letting Charlotte Sterling ruin our wedding. The band started playing. People laughed, talked, celebrated. Alex and I took the dance floor for our first dance. At Last by Etta James played. You knew for 3 weeks, I whispered. I am sorry. Do not apologize. You played the game better than anyone. We played it together without even knowing it. Are we okay? Ask me after therapy. Lots of therapy. We both laughed. As we danced, I saw Maddie watching us, crying. My mother beaming with pride. Olivia giving a thumbs up. 400 guests who would never forget this night. People ask if revenge is sweet. It is not. It is necessary. It is justified. But it is not sweet. Sweet is this, dancing with my husband, our baby between us, our future ahead of us, our truth told. That is sweet. 6 months later, I sat in federal courthouse, 8 months pregnant, watching Charlotte Sterling's trial. She wore a prison jumpsuit, no makeup, looking 10 years older. The jury found her guilty on all counts: fraud, conspiracy, extortion, attempted witness tampering. Sentence: 8 years federal prison. Richard took a plea deal, 5 years, agreed to testify against Charlotte. Maddie's plea deal was honored. 18 months supervised probation, 500 hours community service, no prison time. She testified against Charlotte, held nothing back. She moved to Oregon, started working at a nonprofit for at-risk youth. She wrote to me monthly. I had not responded yet. Sterling Technologies went public successfully. $800 million valuation. Alex remained CEO. The company was thriving. Windmere was seized by the federal government to cover restitution. It sold at auction. Alex could have bought it. He chose not to. Too many ghosts, he said. Our marriage was complicated. We were in couples therapy twice a week. Some days were good, some days were hard. But we were trying. 2 weeks after Charlotte's sentencing, I went into labor. 39 weeks, right on time. Labor was long, 18 hours of contractions, breathing exercises, Alex holding my hand through every moment. At 3:47 in the morning, our daughter was born. 7 pounds, 3 ounces. Perfect. Healthy. Dark hair, blue eyes, tiny, perfect fingers. Alex was crying. She is so beautiful. She is perfect. What should we name her? We had agreed not to find out the gender, had not picked names yet. What about Grace? Grace Mitchell Sterling. I like it. Then I noticed the baby's wrist, a tiny birthmark, same place my father had his birthmark. Dad, I whispered. She has Dad's mark. My mother, in the room with us, started crying. Michael would have loved her so much. Grace Michael Sterling, I said. Perfect. That night in the hospital at 4 in the morning, baby Grace asleep beside us, Alex and I talked. I need to tell you something, I said. Okay. I do not know if I am in love with you right now. I love you. But the in-love feeling, I am not sure. I understand. But I am going to stay. I am going to work on us. I am going to try because I want Grace to have what I did not have. A father, a family. That is enough. That is more than I deserve. Ask me again in a year. Maybe I will feel different. Okay. 2 months later, I received a letter from Maddie. I almost threw it away, but I opened it. Dear Sarah, I do not expect you to read this. I do not expect you to respond. But I needed to write it. I am in therapy 3 times a week, working through the anger, the jealousy, the wounds that started when we were kids. My therapist says I turned you into a symbol of everything I thought I deserved but did not have. That is not an excuse. It is just what happened. I saw a photo of Grace online. She is beautiful. She has Uncle Michael's birthmark. I know I do not have the right to ask this, but when she is older, when you are ready, could I meet her? Just once? I want to tell her that her mom is the strongest person I have ever known. Love always, Maddie. I folded the letter and put it in a box marked Grace for later. Maybe someday. 6 months after the wedding, I went back to work at the gallery part-time. Grace came with me in a carrier against my chest. My boss, Margaret, asked, "How is married life?" "Complicated. The good marriages usually are." My phone buzzed. Text from Alex. "Can we try again? Real date night? Just us?" I hesitated, then typed, "Okay, Friday." That night, I sat in Grace's nursery, rocking her, looking at the framed photo on the wall. My father holding baby me. "Your grandpa Michael would have loved you so much," I told Grace. "He would have taught you to be brave, to trust your gut, to never let anyone make you feel small. I will teach you those things for him. I will also teach you that revenge is not about destroying people. It is about refusing to be destroyed. I will teach you that family is complicated, that people can hurt you and love you at the same time. I will teach you that forgiveness is possible, but it takes time, and that is okay. Most importantly, I will teach you what your grandma Jenny taught me. You can survive anything, as long as you remember who you are." Alex entered the nursery, sat beside us. The three of us together in the soft glow of the nightlight. Not perfect, but ours. My phone buzzed again. Unknown number. "Sarah Sterling, this is Caroline Morrison from the New York Times. I am writing a piece about financial abuse in elite families. Your story has inspired 47 other women to come forward with their own experiences. Would you be willing to talk?" I looked at Alex, at Grace, at my future. Type, "Yes, let us talk." I kissed Grace's forehead. 3 years later, Charlotte came up for parole. Alex and I attended the hearing. She looked smaller somehow. Prison had taken her arrogance, her confidence, her power. "Do you have anything to say to the victims?" the parole board asked. Charlotte looked at us. "I am sorry, I was wrong. I was desperate and scared, and I made terrible choices." The board asked us if we wanted to speak. Alex stood. "My mother taught me that family is everything, that legacy matters. See, that our name is our identity. She was right about one thing, legacy matters, but not the way she thought. My legacy is not my last name or my money. My legacy is my daughter, and I will make sure she grows up knowing that true wealth is character, true power is integrity, and true family protects each other. It does not destroy each other." He sat down. I stood. "Charlotte, you tried to break me. You almost succeeded. You made me doubt myself, doubt my worth, doubt my right to exist in your world. But here is what you did not understand. I never wanted to be part of your world. I wanted to build my own. And I did. I have a husband who loves me. A daughter who will grow up knowing her worth is not tied to her last name. A career I am proud of. And 47 women who reached out to me after our story went public. Women who were being abused by their families, just like you abused yours. Women who are now free. That is my legacy. What is yours?" Charlotte said nothing. The parole board denied her request. We walked out of that hearing into bright sunshine. Grace was waiting with my mother, 3 years old now, dark curl bouncing, running toward us. "Mama, Daddy!" I picked her up, held her close. "Was that Grandma?" she asked. She had never met Charlotte, probably never would. "That was someone who made bad choices," I said, "but we do not have to worry about her anymore." "Okay." She squirmed down, ran to chase a butterfly. Alex took my hand. You know what the therapist said yesterday? I asked. What? She said we have done the work. We have built trust back. We can graduate from couples therapy if we want. Do we want to? I think so. I think we are going to be okay. He kissed me. I know we are. That night, I opened the box marked Grace for later. Inside were letters from Maddie, 23 of them over 3 years. I had saved them all but never responded. Until now, I wrote back, Maddie, Grace is 3 now. She loves butterflies and books and singing off key. She has my father's stubbornness and Alex's laugh. If you still want to meet her, you can. Not for a long time. Just coffee. 1 hour. We will see how it goes. I am not ready to forgive you. I may never be. But I am ready to try. Because that is what Grace will need to learn someday too. That people are complicated. That hurt and love can exist together. That healing is possible even when it is hard. If you are still in Oregon, let me know. We will fly out next month. Sarah. I sealed the letter, addressed it, put it in the mail. That night, I dreamed of my father. We were in his car, coming home from school. I was 12 years old again. Bunny, let me tell you something important. You listening? Yeah, Dad. When something feels wrong in your gut, right here, he tapped his stomach. It usually is wrong. People try to tell you you are crazy, you are paranoid, you are overreacting. But that feeling, that is your instincts trying to protect you. Better to apologize for being careful than to be sorry for being stupid. I woke up with tears on my face. Thank you, Dad, I whispered into the dark. You were right. You were always right. Alex stirred beside me. You okay? Yeah, I am okay. And for the first time in a long time, I meant it. People ask if it was worth it. The exposure, the pain, the complicated marriage, the estranged family. I look at Grace and I think, yes, because she will grow up in a world where people who abuse their power face consequences. She will grow up knowing her mother did not let anyone break her. She will grow up in truth, not in lies. And maybe someday when she is old enough, I will tell her this story. The story of how her parents fought for each other, how her mother learned to be strong, how her father learned to be honest, how her grandmother made terrible choices, but her other grandmother showed her that love and sacrifice can change everything. I will tell her that fairy tales are not about perfect people. They are about imperfect people who refuse to give up. I will tell her that happily ever after does not mean easy. It means earned. And I will tell her what my father told me. Trust your gut. Be brave. Never let anyone make you feel small. Because they tried to bury me. They did not know I was a seed. And now I have grown a whole forest. My name is Sarah Mitchell Sterling. I am a mother, a wife, an art gallery director, and a survivor. This is my story, and it is finally completely mine.